Hello, everyone. I am live. Anybody here? I don't even know if anybody's here. So usually, there's usually some people that trickle in during the live stream. But hello, how's it going? I hope everybody can hear me. It looks like my audio is going through. So if anybody can confirm that the audio is working, please let me know. I'm gonna also check the no questions. So this is going to be an easy Q&A. I'm just going to ramble on for a couple of minutes. So hey everybody, what's going on? Today's actually my first day off in about 7 weeks or so since we launched the Unity open beta. So man, it's been a very high octane 7 weeks. It's been crazy. So today this Q&A. So yeah, this is my first day off. Hey Steven, how's it going? Welcome. So yeah, it's my first day off. I've totally unplugged from just working 12 to 20 hour days for weeks and weeks on end. Just pretty much took a toll on me. I just needed to unplug for a day. I actually slept till 1 o'clock Mountain Time. I went to bed at I did about 10 hours, 10 and a half hours yesterday, and stayed up for a little while, and I went to sleep pretty early, and I slept all night, and so I slept probably about 16 hours. I feel much better. I feel a little rejuvenated, and I'll be back to the grindstone tomorrow. So, but whew, man. So this is a Q&A in case you guys have not been to one of my Q&As. I'm going to do two of them simply because, folks want to get together even during these times that you really can't get out and do what you want to do, or lead a normal life that you're used to leading. So I'm going to do a couple of extra live streams like this on YouTube during the months that we're in the epidemic. So how's it going, Catter Girl? Just chilling. You need the D20, the 2D20 Conan. Yeah, it's in tests. It's pretty close, Steven. I can say it's definitely pretty close to being released. That's for sure. Welcome to your life of 12 to 18 hour days. I hear you. And then trying to do digital dungeon master stuff and prepare for games. I know all about it. I've been doing it for years. What's up, Gary? The Murder Hobo Show. What's going on, Gary? You're getting on a plane and coming down for some cuddling? I don't think so, bud. Maybe after the epidemic. My heart was broken. I was going to go to PaizoCon this year. I know we had talked about that, actually, Gary. And they canceled PaizoCon. So I was gonna get a B&B up there in Seattle and go to PaizoCon, but that's not happening this year. So, but later on in the year, I planned on actually renting an RV and driving cross country and going to the Kentucky Derby and then coming back home. My mom wants to go to the Kentucky Derby one more time. She used to go all the time when she was a kid because that's what her parents did. They always went to the Kentucky Derby. She was from Louisville, so she wants to go one more time, and so I told her I'd take her. Last year I took her to Las Vegas. My dad promised to take her to Las Vegas, and he passed away and didn't get to, unfortunately. So I kind of did that for my mom last year. She had a blast. I caught something in Vegas because when I got back, I was sick. This is before coronavirus. This is back in October. I was sick as hell. I thought I was dying. I literally did. I thought I was dying. And I was actually making plans too. I was telling my son, look, if anything happens to me, you need to get here to El Paso and get your grandmother and bring her back to Florida. But I was sick for about 3 months. I was sick from the middle of October to January, going into February. I mean, it was bad. I had pneumonia. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't sleep. I mean, it was horrible. I wouldn't wish that on anyone. But yeah, maybe next year, Gary. Maybe we'll do something, man. I don't know. Maybe corn on the con. What is it? It's corn on the cob, right, or something like that. The con on the core. I don't know, whatever. But the one in Ohio, maybe I might make that trip. So, what's up, Twisted Tech Mike? How's it going? Good to see you as well, man. Thanks for hanging out. Digital Profit, what's going on, man? Con on the cob, that's it. Yep, con on the cob, man. 0 cons and vacations this year, huh? Are you getting your vacation now because of the epidemic, or do you guys have anything? Are you guys on quarantine up in Canada? So I know that you were still working up to a couple of weeks ago. So I'm working on your characters now, Murder Hobo Show. I got a couple of them done, and I'm going to make a video after I'm done here. I'm going to make a video for all of you guys explaining how to use your character sheet. So I think you guys will like that. Adam Fuentes, what's going on? Welcome, Adam. Everything's shut down. Yeah, everything's shut down. We're kind of like in martial law here in El Paso. If you're out past 8 o'clock, dude, you risk the chance of going to jail. If you're on the road past 8 p.m., everything shuts down at like 7 o'clock. And dude, if you're out, you're screwed, man. I wouldn't even chance that. El Paso is pretty strict. But then again, we just had our first death here in El Paso. We just had our first death. And for us, and any deaths are bad, but we have 700,000 plus people here. So that's a pretty good. That's the doctors here are amazing. My mother, when she got to El Paso, she was in horrible shape. She was on the verge of dying, literally. And man, the doctors here in Texas and El Paso, man, they got her fixed right up. And she said this is the best she's ever felt, probably since her 30s, which is good. She can see again. She's had her cataract surgeries. She can see again. It's amazing. They've done a good job on her. So yeah, me too, Gary. I'm really excited for Basic. I'm really excited for it. I think it's going to be, a hardcore game, man. I mean, everybody's got 4, 5, and 6 hit points at level 1. It's gonna be fun, man. I'm looking forward to it, and we're doing B1 in Search of the Unknown starting this Saturday. We did character creation last week, and I got the character creation session up on YouTube, so check it out. Actually, a ton of people have watched it, so I think a lot of people are really going to be into Basic D&D, which is good. It needs to get a little bit more, notoriety. I mean, it's not the original version of Dungeons and Dragons. It's probably like the 3rd iteration of it. So, but it's Basic. So yeah, it's awesome. Diego Linares, welcome, Diego. You watched the Barbarian, and if you guys have any questions, please feel free to ask them in the chat. That's what this live stream is all about. It's all about the Q&A, question and answer. So if you guys have any questions or comments, please leave them in the chat, and I'll get to them. This is sponsored by my patrons on my Patreon page, and I thank my patrons for pledging their support for what I do. I really appreciate it. And so you guys can thank the Patreons for making these streams possible. So Diego, you watched the Barbarian. That's cool. I plan on redoing all of my D&D 5e videos, but I probably won't do them for at least another year. I'm really prioritizing basic Dungeons and Dragons on my channel, and I had announced this, probably 6-8 months ago. And the content on my channel is primarily going to be basic D&D now. So I'm kind of stepping back from D&D 5e. I've been playing it, religiously since 2013, or actually 2012-ish, back when it was in the public playtest. And I'm just taking a break from D&D for D&D 5e, probably till 2022. Or if something awesome comes out, like the Nenter Vale, or maybe Mystara, maybe I might do something like that. But until then, no, I'm not doing anything with D&D 5e. We're going to be primarily playing all of the B modules and all of the X modules and the companion modules in basic D&D. We're going to be playing old school 1st and 2nd edition Talislanta. We'll be playing some Dragon Age RPG, and we'll also be playing Pathfinder 2nd edition and Starfinder. So those are pretty much the 5 games that I'm going to be running. And that'll be over a 2-year period. So that's cool. You're playing a Goliath Barbarian. Bear Totem. That's a good one, man. Multi-class with Paladin to gain heavy armor. Yeah, but if you do that, you're going to lose your no armor bonus for being a barbarian. So I wouldn't, that's just my opinion. If you want the heavy armor, if you go heavy armor, you're going to get negative movement. You're going to get negative stealth checks if you're trying to sneak around in armor. So Paladin would be cool. I mean, you could get the heavy armor. You can get, Divine Smite. You can get some spell slots if you multi-class, your Paladin up high enough to where you can get spells. But yeah, I mean, it's interesting, but I think, losing the no armor, the unarmored armor bonus would be bad. Let's see. Yeah, I eat a lot of spicy food now that I'm in El Paso, Gary. I eat a lot of spicy food, and I always buy hot sauces. I love, when you go into these little, Mexican grocery stores and stuff that are all over the place, they have all these exotic hot sauces and stuff. And I'm a sucker for that stuff. I mean, they're like a couple bucks a bottle. I mean, it's crazy. Everything's so cheap here. Byron, what's going on, Byron Lee? What is my most favorite D&D adventure that I've ever ran or played? All right. So I'll answer both of those questions in both the adventure that I've played and the adventure that I ran. All right. So coming from the DM point of view, my favorite adventure that I ever ran is not D&D. It was 13th Age. And it was a homebrew. I used the Dragon Age, Dragon Empire world. And I basically just took their landmarks and created my own adventure. And it was an awesome game. It made me transition as a DM. And this is why it's my favorite adventure that I've ever ran, because my players were all new. I had all new players, and they were role play fanatics. And usually my games were more combat related. But within the first hour of me running the 13th Age game, I knew that they were way above my skills as a DM. And I thought to myself, this game is going to fail really quick if I don't change the way I DM. And on the spot, I had to change the way that I DM'd, or I knew the game was going to fail. And I actually have that. I actually have that game on my YouTube channel. And unfortunately, not a lot of people watched it. And to me, it's one of my best games and one of my favorite games, just simply because everything was off the cuff, everything was impromptu, and the game was just, it was amazing. And I wish more people would have watched it. But the problem is, if it doesn't say Dungeons and Dragons 5e, people just think that it's garbage. And it's a shame, because there's a lot of great games out there. In fact, there's a lot of great games out there that are better than D&D 5e. But everybody's got on, I won't say everybody, but a majority of the player base, obviously, because that's what the 800-pound elephant in the room is. You know, a lot of people have on Victorian lampshades where they don't see anything else but D&D 5e. And I wish people would open up their gaming to other systems. And I used to be, if it didn't say Wizards of the Coast or if it didn't say TSR, I by default thought it was garbage. And I think a lot of people are like the way that I used to be. But yeah, the Dragon Age game, and that was probably the favorite game that I ran. And the favorite game that I played in goes way back to the 1980s. We were playing basic D&D, first edition and second edition. We took everything and rolled it up, and because the mechanics are the same, basically. And in fact, I played a basic cleric from basic D&D, and I actually used skills and stuff from Rules Cyclopedia, well, actually from the Gazetteers, from Talos Lanta. So, but my favorite campaign, we played the same game from when I met my friends in 4th grade all the way up till the late 1990s. So probably 14, 15 years. I got to level 31. I have a legitimate level 31 cleric. And my favorite part of that adventure was Undermountain. I mean, we played Dragonlance. We kind of quantum leaped all over the place and did a bunch of different settings. And, you know, we went to Ravenloft and stuff. I wasn't a big Ravenloft fan. But, yeah, when we got to Undermountain, the original Undermountain box set, holy cow, that was... Dude, we ran all the time, but we had rooms and rooms of treasure. Then we never got it. We could never get it out because, you know, there was just so much stuff. And oh my gosh, Undermountain was fun. That was the first time we ran into a Beholder. First time we ran into Githyankies. And oh man, it was incredible. But that was my favorite. We spent at least a year, maybe a year and a half in Undermountain. We were given monsters full rooms of treasures just so they would help us clear out, you know, something else. I mean, even we were probably in our level 20s and probably middle to late level 20s, and we were still getting our butt kicked. You know, basic D&D advanced second edition, it's a hard game. It's not like it is now. You know, D&D is a cakewalk now. So, but I hope that answered your question there, Byron. Bailable Yetio, welcome and hello to you as well. So, Diego, your DM recommended multi-classing with a fighter. Yeah, that'd be good. I mean, even going with something like maybe a rogue would be good, but then again, you only get sneak attack up to the level that, you know, you're going to. Some people have, you know, thought that, oh, I'm going to take level 1 rogue and I'm going to get, you know, unlimited upgrades every other level for, you know, sneak attack. And that's just not the way it goes. It depends on the level of your rogue. So if you're, you know, a level 5 multi-class rogue, then you'll have a 3d6 for sneak attack. But it doesn't work, you know, taking one rogue and then, you know, getting all those sneak attack dice. So it doesn't work that way. Food, Fun, and Friends. Yes, you remember when elves were a class. Yeah. Yeah, we're playing a basic D&D. So check it out. Check out the game. We're starting with B1 in Search of the Unknown. And I'm not pre-placing the encounters. I'm not pre-placing the loot encounters. We're literally... there's a percentage chance that there's going to be encounters. So I'm basically giving it about a 33% chance to have an encounter in every room, because there's like 80 or 90 locations in Quasqueton, which is the Castle Q in B1, and there's a castle level, and then there's a dungeon level, and I believe there's about 80 or 90 rooms. So I think a 33% chance will probably give about 25 encounters, 25 loot parcels. And we're doing random wandering monsters as well. Every 30 minutes of in-game time, we're going to roll a d6. And if there's a one rolled, we're going to have a random encounter. I don't care if it's right after walking out of a room, we're going to do an encounter roll. If it's 30 minutes, there's going to be an encounter. And that's a great thing about basic D&D, I love there's no resting and getting back full hit points and getting, features back and all this stuff. It's going to be a very challenging game. It's going to be relentless. And my players, if you watch the character creation session that we had, our session 0 last Sunday, they all rolled up 3 sets of stats because they're preparing for characters to die. I mean, they are. Twisted Tech Mike, how much can I tell you about the Fantasy Grounds rule set I'm using? The rule set that I'm using for basic D&D is on the forums. It is called the Morecore rule set, and you can modify the hell out of it. Damien and a bunch of other people have worked on it throughout the years, and it is a beautiful generic rule set. And here is the link for it. I'll put it in the chat for you. There you go. And then there is also a bunch of different themes for Morecore as well. Everything from Shadow the Demon Lord to City of Mist to a bunch of others. And there's the link for this. So check it out. Morecore is a great rule set. It currently only works for Fantasy Grounds Classic. It doesn't work for Fantasy Grounds Unity yet, simply because Unity is still in an open beta and there's daily updates happening to the program. So why, fix the extension to work for Unity when it's probably going to be broke the next day? So yeah, I'm almost sure that Damien will get that ready for Unity once Unity is officially released. So there you go. But that's what I'm using. I'm using Fantasy Grounds Classic still, and I'm using the Morecore rule set. So let's see. Murder Hobo Show. Have I ever tried VTTs that weren't Fantasy Grounds when no one was looking? Well, I used to use Roll20. Before I had bought Fantasy Grounds way before I started using Roll20. But when I bought Fantasy Grounds, Doug and John did not own the company. And it was horrible back then. When it was, I think some guys from Denmark, they're the original creators of it. And I bought it for Castles and Crusades and Savage Worlds, and it was getting no support. I mean, anything that you clicked on gave you an error. So I went to Roll20, and I used Roll20 for about a year or so until Doug and John bought the company, and then they just the software just took off. So yeah, I did use Roll20 for a little bit. Steve Heistand. Hello and welcome, Steve. Do I have any suggestions for places to pick up old D&D books, modules? You don't want a collection like mine, but you could use some more things. You don't want this train wreck of a mess behind me. In fact, I've got 10 big airtight storage containers over here with all my basic stuff. But I do have my basic D&D stuff, my box sets for basic D&D up there. But all the modules are laying flat in storage containers, which is about 150 books. So do I have any suggestions? Yeah, there's a couple places that I picked up I had most of this stuff that was just stored for years, and for probably 2+ decades I had since the 90s. I put all my basic D&D stuff in comic book bags with backings, and the box sets I wrapped up with bubble wrap, and I put them in comic book boxes. And then I took the comic book boxes and then I sealed them with duct tape, so like bugs and stuff wouldn't get into them. So but to get a couple of the box sets that I needed, I went to eBay and I found them. But the boxes that I needed were pretty expensive. Especially the two box sets here, the Wrath of the Immortals and also the Champions of Mystara. Those two box sets were almost $200 a box set. But they're short print. There weren't a lot of them made, and they're hard to find complete. But other than that, I had all the other box sets. But the boxes, the BECMI box sets, all my boxes were crushed. So I didn't have the boxes for those, but I found a game store that actually had the boxes, and they sold me the boxes for $25 a box. So just for the empty boxes, I had to pay $125. But go and buy an Immortals box set, or go and buy a Masters box set. They're not cheap. And I didn't want to buy the box set because I already had everything in mint condition. So I just needed the boxes. And this was actually a vendor out of Arizona that was at El Paso Con, which was canceled, unfortunately. El Paso Con was next weekend. But yeah, I would recommend going to eBay. And then there's also Wayne's Books. I can put a couple of links that I check from time to time for stuff. Wayne's Books is pretty good. So let's see. I've got a 1,000 websites that I've bookmarked. I should go through these because I'm sure some of them have probably eventually become dead links. But you can just Google Wayne's Books, and he's got a ton of role-playing stuff. And he's definitely a gamer. You can tell he's a gamer. So here is the link, and then you can just go back to the original site. And then another great website that I can find stuff that I actually, let's see, I'm trying to find, sorry guys. And you can sign up for emails and stuff like for their new items and stuff. And they'll get you all those. Yeah, and then here's dragonstrove.com. Dude, I've been using dragonstrove.com for since Al Gore created the internet back in like the 90s, early 90s, middle 90s. So check out Dragon's Trove also. You can get a newsletter from them as well, and he'll send you emails on big collections that he gets and stuff like that. So those book companies, they couldn't afford my collection because I wouldn't sell it to them. No way. So I actually had one of my viewers watching my What's on Dave's Shelf videos. Some viewer sent me an email and offered to buy my whole collection, and he threw a number at me. And I was like, sorry, man, that's just not enough. Sorry. Then I had a viewer when I was, because I have thousands of miniatures as well in those containers. And another user offered me, like, lowballed me. I mean, this user, like, lowballed the hell out of me and said, oh, I'll give you $1,000 for all your miniatures. I'm like, dude, get out of here. I got thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars invested at a minimum, and that you can't get these anymore. So no, I'm not selling them for $1,000. Get out of here, lowballer. But yeah. All right. So let's move on. I got some more questions. But I hope that answered your question, Steve. Fun, food, and friends. You caught some of it the other night. Nice. It was entertaining and brought back some old memories. Good. Well, you need to watch You need to watch the game going on this Sunday at 4 p.m. Mountain. We start, man. We're starting right in Specularum. So yeah, be there, be square, food, fun, and friends. Byron, what is my opinion of the adventure, the Sunless Citadel? I've actually ran that. I ran the D&D 5th edition Yawning Portal version of it, and I like the Sunless Citadel. It's a great module that is followed by the Forge of Fury. So it's a great adventure. It's a 3 or 3.5 adventure, and it was converted to 5e. And I like it. It was good. It was fun. Murder Hobo Show. Have I come across a system that you knew made you a better GM? Yeah. 13th Age, man. Just because of the broad lack of rules for certain things, and the way that it mentioned, it talked about role playing all the time. So I wasn't a role play heavy DM. I was about before 13th Age, back about 5 years ago. I was probably about a 90% combat, 10% role play exploration DM. Since 13th Age, I've flip-flopped. So I'm probably about a 75% exploration roleplay DM compared to probably 25, maybe 50-50 sometimes. But if my play, when I started playing, B1 and B2 and all these, everything was kick in the door and roll a D6 for initiative, because that's what initiative is in basic D&D. It's a D6. So, now the way I'm going to run the game like I would run any game. And if my players, if they kick in a door and there's 9 to 16 orcs in here, are they going to be able to take, if I roll 2 8s for 16 orcs, are they going to be able to fight 16 orcs and win? Probably not. Can they maybe negotiate and use their charisma to maybe talk their way out of it, or pay their way out of something, or maybe seek some help and maybe, hey, we'll help you kill the bugbearers if you're having a problem with them. They'll get the full amount of experience. So, but yeah, it definitely made me change as a DM. 13th Age did, for sure. Yes, that is correct. Food, Fun, and Friends. Drive-Thru RPG does have all of the old D&D stuff. And don't forget to go to my website. And if you're going to get anything through the DM's Guild or anything from RPG Now, please use my affiliate link, folks, because it helps me get more PDFs to run my games and stuff, and to do reviews and other stuff. So please, folks, feel free to use my link for sure. And you can get that through my website. The internet was invented. Well, I'm talking about the internet that we know it. It's no problem, Steve. Yeah, Dragon's Trove is good. I'm looking forward to it too, Bell. Even though Bell did have some bad luck, I think Bell probably rolled the lowest of everyone. I should get some costumes for NPCs. I do have a couple. Maybe I might do something like that, Gary. I might do that, maybe. Maybe. I've got some stuff that I could use. I got a whole couple boxes of stuff. Wizard hats and mask and all kinds of stuff. So all right, guys, I usually try to keep these about 30 minutes or so, but you guys have been asking a lot of questions. I'm going to do a final call for questions. So I've already been streaming 35 minutes and I've had a wonderful time doing it. And I thank everybody for hanging out. I've got another one of these live broadcasts here in 2 weeks from today. So on the 30th, on the 29th, Wednesday the 29th, At 4 p.m. Mountain, I'm going to do another one of these. So, yeah. Yeah, I've got armor as well, Bell. I've got weapons. I've got all kinds of stuff. So, last call for questions. Do you guys have any final questions? I'm looking on my patron posts, and I'd like to thank my patrons as well for making this happen. I've got no posted questions, so I'm just going to continue to answer your questions. And check out my patron page. So you can get consultation, show notes. I'll send you stickers and show notes and codes for DM's Guild or Neverwinter Nights or Champions Online. What is that? What is that game that I got a bunch of codes for? Idle Champions. Got tons of these things. So check out my patron page. It helps support what I do. It's Fantasy Grounds. Yes, Fantasy Grounds is on Steam. And welcome, Brandoify or Brandoify. Welcome. Yeah, it's fantasygrounds.com. Fantasy Grounds is also available on Steam as well. Yep, you stay healthy as well. Food, fun, and friends. Gary, is the nudie offer still? And the nudie offer still stands. Well, I appreciate that, man. I got back into Patreon a couple of months ago when I started back up in January. I think I relaunched the Patreon page in February. So, yeah, Fantasy Grounds is the big leagues of virtual tabletops. It's not the minor leagues. Definitely the big leagues. And Gary, I'll see you Sunday as well. Bell, I'll see you Sunday at about 3:30 so we can get set up a little early. I got your character information. I'm going to finish up your character sheets after this stream. And I'm also going to go ahead and post a video on my YouTube channel going over every one of your character sheets for you, talking about how to do any kind of modifications to it, which it's basically just changing numbers in boxes. That's it. It's super easy. It's just like changing numbers on a regular basic D&D character sheet. So, but howdy and thank you to you as well, Brand. So, all right, everybody. I appreciate you guys hanging out, asking your questions. I'll do another one of these on April 29th at 4 p.m. Mountain. And thank you guys again. Totally appreciate it. Thanks for watching. Check out my Patreon page, which you can just Google Digital Dungeon Master Patreon page, and it'll come up. And I'll see you guys in a couple of weeks. So everyone, please be safe. Stay at home. Stay the F at home, like Sam Jackson said. And get caught up on your sleep. And I'll see you guys on the 29th. So until then, happy gaming and stay safe, everybody. Bye-bye.